Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to grease and oil my spinning reel. It's very important to do these periodically, and the reel will last you for many years if you do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grease the internal gears inside here, and to do that I have to take the handle off, and you do that by unscrewing the back end here like that, the little screw part. Alright, and take out the handle, pops off like that, that pops off like that, and there are there are 4 screws here. There's also another one down the back here, so we're going to take those off. I have a straight screwdriver. You can use a Phillips as well, but I found the Phillips one was slipping. So you very simply unscrew these, unscrew this like that. Okay. There's one, not taking care not to lose them. Now I'm going to fast forward this, so just move on to the next bit. There, this thing pops off like that. Okay, that reveals that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop off the side like that. This is going to pop off like so. Some reels, you can't take this part off unless you remove the rotating head, which is this part. So you have to unscrew the spool like that. Okay. Now bear in mind, when you're oiling and greasing your reels, there's a bunch of washers at the top of the spool here, which acts as your drag system. So you have to make sure that you do not get oil in here on any of these washers. Otherwise the drag system will not work properly. So that's the bottom, and a little bit of grease there on this part can help. I usually put a little bit of grease on that, but make sure not to overdo it. It's important. Now, so the next thing is to remove the rotating head, we have to take off this little screw here. So I use a small screwdriver. We're going to pop it in here. Will that work? Yes, it will. So we just unscrew that. There we go. It just pops off. Just flew off there, but that's okay. Then we're going to unscrew this nut. I use my pliers for that, gripping it tightly and just very gently spin it. There we go, just like that. Okay, very good. And now you can lift off the rotating head like that. All right, we just need a little bit of space, and now this will pop off very simply. Oops, wrong side. So this will, there we go, should come off like that. Should come off like that. Just put this, prise it off a little bit. There we go. My hands are a bit slippy. So there we go, off like that. Now I'm going to put a little bit of grease here on that part, which is the, what they call it, the drive shaft, I suppose, or the drive wheel. So I'm going to put some grease on this part here. All right, just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to put another bit on this piece here because this is going around, and a bit on here. All right, that's it, job done. Now you don't need to overdo it with grease, just a small amount. All right, and then we're going to pop this back. Now there's a bearing system here as well. See that bearing system? Bearing system there. We're going to put some oil on that before we put it back. That'll be handy. So I have a little bit of spray oil, which is very handy for this job. I'm just going to give it a little dart like that. There we go. That's it. Lovely jubbly. I'm going to maybe give a little bit in here as well on the other side. There we go. Perfect. Little squirt. We're going to pop that back on there. All right. Push it home. That's it. There we go. Very good. Now I'm going to put one screw on just to hold it in place. Pop that in there like that. All right. I'm going to screw on that now just to keep it all fairly straightforward. Screw this in here. All right. And now we push back the rotating head, which goes on here. May take a little bit of jiggling around to do that. There we go. Perfect. Screw on the nut. Once again, my fingers now are in the way, I know. Just screw on the nut like that. Line it up. There we go, and spin it around. It's not catching properly. Make sure it is lined. There we go. You can feel when it's right. Now, so now we just tighten it with the pliers like that. Okay. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to put a little bit of oil now on the spindle, which is there, just give it a little tap, and that's going to go up and down in a few moments. Now, you see that? Very, very good. That's working really well. And we have the ball bearing. There's a bearing system in here. We've just put some oil on that. We've grease on the internal side. Brilliant. Excellent stuff. Put back that screw, which I suppose holds the nut in place or make sure that it never twists. That's all that's for. So that's that little screw here. That's that little one there. So we pop it in. That's a bit fiddly, so it takes a little bit of fiddling around to get it in. All right. Gloves are very handy because you won't get any oil on your fingers, which I don't like personally. Now we're going to hold that in position. There we go. Hold that in position. Screw down the screw like that. That's it. Twist it in. Very good. Excellent stuff. So that's that. So we've got one screw here holding that on. So we've two more to put in for the moment. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a drop of oil on this, just in there on that side. There we go. It's very good. And another drop on the other side. And then that's for the bail arm. Well done. We can rub it in with the gloves. That's the beauty of having these little rubber gloves. And then you flick it back over and back a few times just to oil it up a little bit. All right, that's very good. All right, so we've got 1, 2, those two parts are oiled. We have this part in here that's oiled as well. So the next thing says 3. We've put some grease inside the reel. We have some oil on either side of the ball bearing here on this handle part. So we have some oil on the ball bearing, which is just inside here. And the rotating head, which goes this way, we have oil on either side of that. The next thing we have to do is put a little bit of oil on the roller. Now to do that, we have to take the roller off. So that's what I find works anyway. So I've always done this, just take the roller off basically. So we unscrew that. Now, the roller part, as you know, will come with a few different little bits inside in it, like washers. So you have to be careful when they fall out, and so you can put them back exactly where they should go. That's important. So when you have a look here now, all right, oh yeah, there's the main washer there, and I see a little plastic part in here. All right, so I'm not going to pull that out, I'm going to leave it alone. So I'm going to drop of oil in there now. There we go. All right, very good. I'm going to pop that in back the way it was, like that. There we go. You can see the little roller moving. Sometimes the rollers get stuck and they will in turn cut the line, and the line in turn will cut the roller. So you always make sure that the rollers run free. Very important. It's one of the most important parts. So when you turn that there like that, then hang on, turn it like so. Perfect. All right. So that's another one done. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Now what else have we to do here? We have the spindle is done. Very good. All right, that's lovely. Excellent stuff. I'm now going to put back the screws. All right, so I have my 3 screws put back. All right, now this particular one then has a little piece of this thing. It's just for, I think it's for cosmetic looks. So it just pops in here like that. Click it in here. It slides in there. Push it up, and it gets trapped in here. And now we're going to push back the screw here. We're going to put back the screw here, pop it in there. They can be a bit fiddly now, so you have to take your time. There's no rush. There we are. All right, there we go. In the screwdriver. There we go. Just give it a gentle tighten. There we go. Perfect. All right. There we are. So that's it. Now the next thing we have to do is put the handle across. I'm going to put a little bit, we've put some oil on that side. Very, very good. Shove it through. Put a bit of oil on this side, which we didn't do. All right, there we are, perfect. And now we screw back the handle retaining nut, which is this piece. All right. That's it, there we are. So it takes a second. There we are, screw that back on. All right. Now, the handle seems to be okay. I won't grease the handle. I won't oil the handle. You could do that if you want a little drop of oil. Actually, do you know what? I'll put a drop on the handle in there, just there. Not too much now because you don't want it going out this side. And we're just going to flick that around like that. Very, very good. And then I'm going to dry it off. Just make sure there's none on the actual handle itself. Very, very good. So that's it. Very, very good. All working. Now we put back the spool like that. Just fiddle it around like so. Put on the drag knob, which is that. Now the drag system, as I said, make sure you don't put any oil in all the washers in here, because it will damage it won't damage it, but what happens is the drag system won't work. The washers have to be dry. Simple as that. So just to recap, we have oiled the bail arm on either side. That's 2 places. We have oiled the roller on the inside. We have oiled the ball bearing on either side here. There's 2 of those. That's 5 of those. We have oiled the handle here, which is 6. We have greased there's a little wormy thing in here. We've greased that, and we've greased the bottom end of it for the cogs on the inside. And basically that's it. Now, here we go. Yes, it's going very, very smoothly now. Just give it a few turns like that. Yep, sounds very good. Sounds excellent. Now, brilliant. Now also I have here is a bait runner. So when you're, obviously if you take these apart, you have to be careful where you put the grease in these, because this system has a lot of washers down on this end of it, and you have to make sure you do not get oil or grease on any of the washers, because if you do, they won't work properly. It's the same with the washers on the front on the spool. You don't do that either. There's probably washers in there, but you don't see them, because that's just the way these reels are designed. All right, and that's it. So that's your reel maintenance. Steve's gone fishing.